Hey everyone, really sorry about this. I had to log off 2 times because it's a huge network challenge here in my house today. I have freaking no idea why, but I'm glad I'm back. It's Tuesday evening, 5 p.m. and we're going to talk about how to deal with toxic people like we're dealing with the toxic network right now. If you're on with me right now, please do say a message, say a hello so I know you're very much there. Hi Abhay, thank you for hanging in there. Hi Rakesh, thank you so much. Hi Jacob, good to see you again. Lovely. Hi Vijay, good to see you. Hi Bipin, good to see you as well. Awesome. Hi Isha, lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Hi Bipin. Hi Shilpa, lovely to see you. Awesome. So since we already have a very good audience and I know I'm already late by 5 or 6 minutes because of the network challenge, I think we'll dive straight into the topic. But even before I address about how to deal with toxic people, let's understand why are people toxic to be in the first place. Why are people negative? Why do they want to manipulate us, or why do they want to harm us with their views? I think one of the major reasons why people come from a negative point of view or a critical point of view is that they're looking or they have a need for significance. And there are two ways to get significance. One, you build the tallest building in town. Second, which is of course hard because you're gonna work really hard to build the tallest building in town. And the second is you thrash everybody's building down, which makes you feel significant and important. And a lot of world's biggest critiques and narcissists come from that approach. The other reason why people are negative or toxic is because they are control freaks. They are very insecure people and they just want to control everybody, their behaviors, their patterns, in everything in their environment and every person in their environment, because that's how they want to feel secure about themselves. Now comes the question, why should we get rid of these people? Very importantly, I think I've shared this earlier as well, that we are an average of the 5 people we hang around with most in our life. So if you're in a company of a toxic person for a very long time, it's bound to have an impact on your personality as well. It's bound to create and push you towards toxicity as well. So to protect yourself, it's important you safeguard yourself from these people, right? Now comes the question, why do we find it so hard to stay away from toxic people? I think one of the concepts around that is that a lot of times we invest a lot in relationships and we believe that we've been around for so long. Let's say for example in a marriage situation or in a relationship which is which is like you're in an affair, you're in a romantic relationship, or you're with a best friend and you've invested a lot in this relationship. You don't want to get rid of it immediately. So there is something called as a sunk cost mindset. So you already have a sunk cost in it. You're like, I've already invested so much, how do I give it up so easily? And you continue to try to make it right even if you're failing at it miserably, right? So that's one of the things which I call the sunk cost mindset. Now, does that really mean that we should throw every person out of our life who's negative? Not necessarily. It doesn't mean that, if anybody is being even slightly toxic, you say, what, enough of you, I don't want you in my life. That's not the point I'm trying to make. One of the things you want to ask yourself is this person right now in this particular situation, in this state, is that a state of a person, or is it, the trait of a person? Is the character of the person like that? So sometimes somebody may be going through something in their life which they are processing, because of which they may become toxic. In that scenario, you definitely want to be around them and be there for them. The idea is not to give up on them. But if a person is inherently toxic, inherently negative, very demeaning for you, then of course you want to consider walking away from that person. And I'm going to address this topic from 2 points of view. One, dealing with toxic people at work or people who are your friends, because there's a different treatment for that. And another, dealing with a toxic person who's at home, maybe your intimate relationship, maybe a brother or a sister or a parent, and how you deal with them differently compared to the ones who are outside of your closed circuit. So let's say somebody is being toxic with you in the outside world. Could be a friend, could be a colleague, could be a boss, somebody in that space. One of the things that you want to do at that time is put them on your radar. You got to watch these people, okay? And you observe and then go with your gut feel, because your gut will always tell you if this person is in your favor or not. And then listen to your gut. And if you feel enough evidence is there to showcase that, you know, this relationship is not adding value to you in the positive, but only depleting energy out of you or adding to you negatively, all you want to do is distance yourself from this person, right? And the second thing you want to do is you want to be part of a community, be part of a focus group or a Facebook group or any kind of networking group where you are meeting people who have common interests, who have common value system, who have common beliefs, so that you're enhancing your own core values and beliefs around them, right? As I said, that you become the average of the 5 best people you hang around with. One of the things is you can choose to be with positive people, right? And the way to do that is to have an 80-20 rule. You know, I'm sure you've read in school about the Pareto principle, that 20% of the actions give us 80% of the results. And if you actually sit down and monitor, if you make a list of all the people you hung around with in the last 6 months, and then write down on a 0 to 10 scale how much happiness was brought to you by these people, right? You will realize that, you know, there are only 20% of the people you spend time with which give you 80% of the happiness, you know, and that's what you do. You spend more time with these people. That's the whole point, that if you realize that, okay, I know now who is this person with whom I enjoy myself more, who adds to me, who allows me to grow myself, that is the person you want to spend most of your time with, right? So the 20-80 rule, you know, very much that 20% of your people will give you 80% of the joy. Invest time with them, okay? Now coming to the question of if you're dealing with a toxic person in your very, very close, intimate relationship, or, you know, a family member who's very, very toxic. I think one of the things you want to do is, whenever they start throwing the negativity at you, is to breathe. And breathing is very important because it will get you present to the situation. Normally, you know, a narcissist or a negative person or a toxic person will take you off guard. That's their whole intention. So if you are present, you can handle the situation better. Second is always disconnect from the situation while it's happening. You disassociate and watch that person and yourself. Look at it as if it's a movie that's happening, and then you'll be able to deal with it a little better because you're emotionally disconnected and you're just watching it like a film, and you'll have better presence of mind as to how you want to deal with that situation. The third is never, ever, ever, ever give an emotional response to a toxic person, because that's exactly what they're looking for. What you want to do is you want to be in charge of your focus. Why is that important? Because if they can take you away from what you're focused on, they can change your state. You know, but if you are going to keep your focus where you want to keep it, you'll be able to maintain your state and thereby handle the negativity in a more simplified, easy way. Another thing you want to do maybe is to set your boundaries with people. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to say no to them when you want to say no, and do not say yes, because it's totally okay to have your boundaries with people and say, you know, this XYZ is acceptable to me, ABC is not acceptable to me, and I will not oblige, right? So it's all right to do that. You don't have to fall for, you know, their temper tantrums. In fact, there is a very interesting way you can actually deflect all the reaction of a toxic person. If somebody is reacting to you and saying that, you know, you're very mean, that's not the way to behave, you know, all you can say is you can deflect that statement by using a phrase, something like, it's interesting that you say that. I wonder why would you say something like that? Or it's interesting that you're saying that. I wonder why you feel that way. Or it's interesting that you say that. I wonder what's going on for you right now. Right? Something to that effect. Or you may say that, you know what, I would love to have a relationship of mutual respect. If you especially see somebody throwing a temper tantrum, you can say, you know what, or being nasty to you, say, you know what, I would love to have a relationship of mutual respect. If you see somebody, you know, stonewalling themselves or doing a passive aggressive behavior, you know, banging on the door and not really addressing the issue, you can walk up to them and say that, you know what, I noticed that you're upset. Did I say or do something which upset you? And then be prepared to listen, right? Because they are going to try to hook you and manipulate you and put you into the game of argument and get an emotional reaction out of you, so they can feel more in control and they can feel more significant, right? You can ask them, you know, if somebody says you're so nasty, say, well, it is possible. It's possible, right? It's a possibility. But, you know, the subtle subtext there is that it's also possible that I'm not nasty, right? So you're not allowing them to, you know, take you off your guard. You're not allowing them to destabilize you emotionally or change your focus into or get you into an explanation mode, right? Another way to do it is, you know, you can say, when you're calmer, I'd love to talk to you about this subject, and you walk away. And you can, if somebody is still continuing to throw a tantrum, you can even use statements like, I hope you feel better, and you walk away, right? So the whole idea is that you always protect yourself as to being present to the situation, at the same time disassociating and looking at it from an outside point of view, so you can, you know, if you're in a more position to control it. And of course, the third and the most important thing is, you know, keep your focus where you want to keep it. Don't allow them to change your focus, and definitely never ever emotionally respond. That's for people at home, and of course for people outside. You can always choose your friends you want to hang around with. You can always choose the people who make you happy and spend most of your time with them. I've had so many friends log in today. It was so lovely to see all of you. Rajika, Binod, Surain, Sharat, Nikhil. A fantastic feeling to have you guys on my FB Live today. Thank you so much for joining in. And that's all I wanted to share today, actually. And if there's anything that you guys would like to ask me as far as this subject is concerned, I'll be very delighted to address all your questions. So please do post your comments or your questions if you have any, and I'll be happy to help you. Hi Adil, good to see you. Good evening. I love the coffee cup. I think I wouldn't mind having a cup of coffee right now. And while we're waiting for the questions to come in, I know there's a lot of sunlight on my face today, unfortunately, because, you know, my network is only working in a particular angle. So I have to have half sunlight face, you know, but I'm so happy that I'm here with all of you today and excited that I'm able to share what I'm sharing today. Hi, Subodh, good to see you. Thank you, Rajika. You're a sweetheart. You know that, right? Thank you, Isha. It's lovely to have you online. And thank you for getting my book. I hope you're enjoying it. Yes, Sonia, I would love to have some questions. Please ask. We're delighted to answer. And so good to see you here, my friend. Okay, while we're waiting on for questions, okay, meet and ask, all right. You know, while we're waiting on for more questions to come in, all I want to say is it's an absolute delight that I've logged in today and spoken to you about this subject, because I know a lot of people get confused as to how to deal with people who are negative in their lives, what to do if you're ignored. Okay, so again, as I said, ignored is pretty much similar to being stonewalled, right? And if you feel that way, just walk up to the person and have an open communication without any emotional charge and say, you know what, I noticed that these days you're not paying much attention to me. Did I do or say something which upset you? And you know, I think that could be a start of a conversation which could take you to the next level. And then once you have information on that, then you can talk it further. So the idea is to communicate, not to tolerate things which are uncomfortable to you, because when you do that, you're only spoiling your own energy. And when you do, you know, you attract more situations and experiences in your life which are negative. So that is the starting point for that, Rajika. Isha, yes, it's totally life-changing book. Oh, thank you so much, Isha. That's lovely. And for all of you who are watching who still don't have my book, please go grab a copy. It's called The Queen of the Comeback, and it's available at amazon.in. And we have some amazing discounts running at the moment as well, so please go grab them right away. Okay, amazon.in, The Queen of the Comeback. Rajika, I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much, Varsha, and thank you so much for logging in every week and supporting me. It's really adorable of you. Thank you, Rajika. Thank you so much, Siri. I'm glad it helped you. Awesome. I guess since we don't have any more questions, we'll call it a day. But if you do have a question later, or if you want to ask it privately, you're more than welcome to, put it in the comments section. And when you do, you will definitely receive an answer from me within the next 48 hours. So if you're watching this live later, please feel free to put in your question in the comment section, and I'll be delighted to answer. And I will definitely catch you next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Same time, same place. Till then, have an awesome, splendid, super bright sunshine week ahead. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Love you guys.